Hello everyone and welcome to CFC Fan TV. This is our Sophie. It's my favourite segment, and as we know there is quite a lot going on at the moment. Oh my god, that is my washing machine, but let's just carry on. It's the most annoying washing machine in the entire world actually. Anyway, let's get on with it. Loads of questions. Thank you so much for getting them in as always. I'm going to kick it off with a really, I think it's a nice one actually. Kevin Sales says, hello Kevin, says thoughts on Frank Lampard taking the manager job at Derby County and that Jody Morris is joining his staff. I think it's a great appointment. I think him and Jody together will be so good. I think Frank Lampard was just a fantastic player, and one of the things we've got to remember with Frank is that it wasn't just his goals, it wasn't, it was not just him being the top goal scorer at Chelsea FC, it's his organisation skills, his leadership, knowing the game itself. He's not a legend at Chelsea for no reason, and I think that's something that him and JT always had, and that's why we always felt really safe going into games when Frank was on the pitch, because we knew that he just knew the setup, he knew how to work a team, and I think a manager role for him is absolutely fantastic. I don't think it will be all plain sailing, as it never is, and especially in your first job. But I think him and Jody will make a great team, and yeah, I think it's an absolutely brilliant appointment, so I'm thrilled with that. Next question is from Sam. How do you feel about Marcus Alonso? Quite an unusual one, I suppose. We haven't really discussed Marcus Alonso for a while. Listen, Marcus Alonso is highly underrated. I know a lot of you fans disagree with me, and feel free to comment below and let me know your thoughts on him. But I think, again, he is a great player. I don't know why he gets so much hate, I think he's not the obvious signing. He never was in the first place. I think it took people a while to sort of warm to him, and I really do believe, next season especially, he's going to be a main part of our first team, and lucky for us, because I think you look back at seasons where we've had goals scored that have saved us, he's really been a crucial part in that, and just having him on the pitch, I think people need to not. He was never a big name, was he, before he came? So he's always going to attract some hate from somewhere. But I think people need to give him more of a chance and actually look at what he does on the pitch, not just how many goals he's scoring and what happens on the with other players. Because actually, I think he gets the blame for a lot of fault that actually isn't his. Next question is from Michael. He says, the best place you've ever travelled to? Ooh, everyone knows I love Vegas. It's going to be Vegas, yes. I've been to some amazing places. I will say I absolutely love Slovenia when we went. We've got to go to Croatia, me, my dad, Dan, and a couple others. And I love that, and that was part of the Champions League, part Europa League. And I think, again, I would never have gone these places if it wasn't for football. So I'm incredibly lucky that I do. I get to travel so many places, and yeah, it's not that's not the same for everybody. I'm incredibly grateful for all the opportunities that I get. Okay, so the next question I've had is Sarri or Wenger. How is that even a question? I mean, everyone's asking. I don't know why. Listen, Arsene Wenger did some great things for Arsenal, but there is absolutely no way on God's green earth that I think Abramovich would ever appoint a manager like Arsene Wenger. He has no track record to win any major Premier League trophies in the last 10, 11 years, 12 years, whatever it's been. And I mean, we have managers that get fired just for not winning anything within, the first 6 to 8 months. If things go tits up with the team or whatever happens, there's just no way. And unfortunately, I think Arsene Wenger is a great stable manager. I think he'd be great lower league, but definitely not for a football club like Chelsea FC. Granted, Sarri hasn't won any major trophies, but his style of play is good, and I think he's highly rated by the likes of Pep Guardiola as one of the best in the world. So I think we need to look at the managers that are doing exceptionally well in the Premier League and who they rate. And I think he'd be a great appointment. Are we going to get him? That's the question, that's the big question. And we will try and update you as much as we possibly can as we get this news in. But at the moment, like I say, it's all at a halt and we don't really know what's going on. Okay, so the next question that was asked is, do you think, what do I think all the money's going to run out soon? Abramovich is going to sell? I mean, it's a ridiculous comment, really. Chelsea FC has established itself as such a big football club now. Even if Abramovich was to sell, I don't think we'd be left with a slack owner. I think we'd get somebody in who is obviously wealthy and knows, wants to win trophies. And I think we've got to give Abramovich credit in the fact that he's, he did put us on the map. And before, I was still here. I was still watching Chelsea before that. We all were. That's why we're proper fans. But in terms of all our success and everything, he's really given us a push, and You have to always be grateful, and there will come a time where I'm sure he does want to leave. But at the moment, that time is nowhere near. I think if you look in the next few years, maybe, possibly. I think the stadium holds. I think it's a great plan. I think, like I say before, I love the bridge the way it is, and I did this in my last Ask Sophie when I was in Vegas. And there's no major need for it to change. So I'm not in a huge rush for the stadium to change. I don't think the fact that they've put it all to a stop for now means that we're going to be in a crisis and we're all going to go downhill. I mean, that's just a little bit obscene, isn't it? So I think we all need to chill out a little bit, come back down and see what happens next season. Next question then, I think, was on my Twitter, and that was, what signing would I like to see next season? Again, very good question. Listen, next signing, if I'm being honest, would like to see us sign a striker. I know we've got a very expensive one in Morata, and we've got Giroud, and I do want Giroud to stay. But we need another, when I say Diego Costa, I don't mean we need another Diego Costa as in he needs to be as aggressive. We need another Diego Costa in the fact that he's a proven goal scorer. That's what we need. We have nobody that can score a goal consistently. I think we've struggled with it for years. Diego was probably the best option we've had since then. But again, his behaviour, I suppose, wasn't on and off the pitch, wasn't exactly what we need if we're looking for longevity. So I could see both sides of that. So I would just like a prone goal scorer. I would just like somebody who wants to stay at the club long term. If we could have an Eden Hazard in a striker, how amazing would that be? I knew he sweared then. How amazing would that be? So there you have it. That's all we have time for this week's Ask Sophie. Comment below. Who do you want as our new manager? I know we've asked the same question over and over again, but like I say, nothing really seems to be getting done, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it? Would you rather stick with Conte? I did a whole video on that. Please check it out. And if you like this video, click the subscribe button. We love having you back here. And yeah, fingers crossed, next time we do Ask Sophie next week, we have either a new manager or we continue with Conte, but at least we have some closure on the whole situation.